Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If you're new here, I talk about all things sewing, lifestyle, crafting, that kind of stuff. So today I have spent basically the whole day working on a tailoring commission that a friend of mine asked me to do, and I need a break from it. Right now it's mostly just been a lot of picking stuff out, doing some, surgery to figure out what exactly I need to do to just really just take in a pair of pants, like the bottom section of a boiler suit. And I have been itching to sew since the beginning of the year. I've had no time to do it. It's really been kind of annoying to me, really. So I decided I need a culotte style jumpsuit. A jumpsuit is one of the things that's like kind of on my Make 9 this year. If you do want me to talk about my Make 9 this year, please let me know. I just need to, I have the footage, I just need to edit it and post it. And I just really haven't had the time. So editing has been kind of the main struggle when it comes to this channel, and just being able to find the time and energy to sit down and look at my face for several hours on end has been kind of hard. So what I'm going to do today is I have taken a pattern from Mood Fabrics, and I am just going to work on the paper pattern to modify it, make a toile, and see where we go from there. That's really just what I kind of just want to get done today. Just kind of have a break to do some sort of crafting and sewing work. I'll take as much overshot footage as I can. It's just that the webcam that I have that I use for the overshot footage is not the best, so we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna do that, and then after that I have some work to get to today. Hopefully I will sit down and take the energy to, I had a week of 5 to 9s after my 9 to 5 blog that I wanted to get edited today as well, so hopefully I can get that in today. It's just I didn't realize just looking over that boiler suit and picking apart just the pockets and the sides and basting up the legs of where the client wants it was going to take me several hours. Just because I really didn't want to mess up anything. I wanted to get it as neat as done, and usually that takes me longer. So the plan, by the way, for the final fabric is, here, let me show you actually. I'm just gonna pull it from my stash here. Is I have this let me move my snack. I have this hand dyed batik cotton that I got while I was visiting family in Arizona late last year, and so I really want to make it out of that. I think I have enough fabric to make a culotte jumpsuit out of it. And then for my toile today, I have this cotton broadcloth that really feels the same. This, unlike the stuff that I will use for the final project, is already pre-washed, which is also helpful. So this will give me time to pre-wash the final fabric. Possibly I have some cotton toile coming in that I can use for aligning. So my hope is that I can get that done. Also, I have a feeling, you see here, I'll get a better sense of this once I've washed this, but this is pretty spring summery. I have a feeling that if I just take good care to do good finishing, I don't think I'll need a lining for this, so I actually might skip it. The wall was actually for a separate project that I want to make a summer dress in a chocolate brown. So that's coming in soon. I just want a summer of cotton clothes that I can wear both at work and outside of work. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. She is cute. I'm so excited. It's deep greens and mustards. There's some navy and some brown in there. Really pumped for this mix. I think it'll be fun too to have as a more unique piece in my collection. And if the toile works out too, then I will obviously have a second one in a solid green that I'll wear all the time too. So my hope is that this toile will be a wearable toile that I will use with the mood pattern, so that the toile is mostly just so I can make the modifications I know I need to make. I know I need to do a full cup adjustment. I know I actually think I might want to change the seaming from just darts into a princess seam. So there's that too. And yeah, so I'm gonna see what I can get recorded of that. Yeah, so if you're interested, please just hang around. I'm just chatting, yapping. But if you're new here, please feel free to keep watching. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, this is a outfit combination, and I'm not gonna try to show as much as possible, but I just want you to keep in mind this is a free pattern on Mood, so this is not like it's proprietary information. So this is actually technically a two-piece outfit with a peplum. I am taking out the peplum, so there's going to be no peplum on this, and it's actually going to be combined into like a jumpsuit. So eventually I'll need to get a longer zipper, but I'm not really worried about actually making the pattern today. So we'll figure this out later. But the first thing I did want to do was I wanted to just kind of go through what my process usually is when I'm working on a pattern or trying to find something that I know that I will need to modify. First things first, I know that I'm going to need an FBA or a full bust adjustment because Mood uses a B cup for all of their patterns. And I have not been a B cup since I was in 8th grade. So we are going to do that. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to pull up my measurements and use what measurements I find will be best. Actually, looking at it now, I probably will need to do a couple things in between sizes. Like I think for the hip, I'll need to do the 30, just so that I have a little bit of ease, because these are the finished garment measurements that I use. I don't really use the body measurements, just because I would rather have a little bit of ease in everything. And then for the bust, because I need to use my upper bust measurement, I need to actually do this guy. And also for the waist, I'm just going to do this guy because I do want a little bit of ease in there. So I'm going to be doing the bust, cutting the 20 size, the waist, cutting the 28, and then the hip using the pant on the 30. I also know here that I will need to make some sort of seat adjustment because I know that because I have a tummy, I do need to add a little bit of room for the tummy. It really does take in on the crotch, and with Mood patterns, they kind of just assume that you're a model who has perfect proportions, and no one has perfect proportions. So we're gonna need to do a full bust adjustment, like some sort of seat or belly adjustment. I find that those both work for me just fine. And then I think I'm gonna have to lengthen the torso. And I'm just making these notes for myself here, but I'm just kind of talking through it with you. So I'm going to need to lengthen the torso, do the bust adjustment. Debating still at this point whether to do a princess seam instead. The idea in theory sounds nice, but there are bust darts in there. And I know that I'm going to have to take a lot out of that there guy and make some adjustments there. The other option too is I did print the whole pattern, but I can probably just use my own bodice block as a stepping stone to making this pattern for myself. I just wanted to kind of cut out some of the guesswork by printing out the whole pattern. With the pants, I have a feeling I'm gonna need to shorten it. I think they use 5'10" as their fit model size for these patterns. So it's possible I'm gonna need to take a little bit at the bottom as well, but no real changes are probably gonna need to be made to the culottes. They might actually just end up being full length, like at the ankle instead of like at the mid shin. Either way, I'm kind of fine with that length, but today is just about the paper pattern. So that's all we're gonna do for today. Yeah. I think going forward, it might just be some B-roll with some music over it. I'm not entirely sure. If I talk through something, then I'll probably stop it at like normal speed and talk through it with you. So just like a quick update that I wanted to come and show you real quick. This is just gonna be a cut here. I'm actually not gonna do the adjustment from a smaller bust. So I'm not gonna do the 20. I'm actually just gonna, for the top, we're gonna cut out the 28, and for the hips, we're gonna cut out the 30, and then make the adjustments from there, because this is what I did with my bodice block, and it really worked for me. And if you didn't know from a previous video, I'll just explain it here off camera. So I have made a bodice block that I will show you. So I have my own bodice block that I have made. And I actually made this also from a mood pattern. I made it from the Tiarella dress, which is basically a sheath dress with a basic sleeve. And I found like this part here looks like there's no room for the arm. But you have to remember, I have 3 darts in my bodice block. Oh, excuse me. So I have 3 dots in my bodice block, and this looks like it's really taken in. And it's because when I did the pattern, I did it from my normal size, like my normal, like what's my bust, what's my waist, what's my hip. And then I did an armhole dart and then moved it into, I think I moved it into the shoulder. So I might just line the top specifically, just because of that lining situation. I do want to have it lined, especially around the arm's eye, instead of folding it back. Basically, the point of that was to say I'm going to cut out these 28 for just the top in general, and then the 30 for the hip. So and then you'll see here, I'm not going to do any, because the fabric I'm using for both the toile and my final fabric, none of it's see-through, it's pretty thick. So I don't think I'm going to worry about a facing. Yeah, I think I'm not going to worry about a facing. And I'm not putting pockets in this because I don't feel like it. So I'm not gonna bother with pockets here. So what I'm gonna do is omit the facing. I'm not doing the peplum because it's just gonna be a cool out jumpsuit, and we'll go from there. Okay. So it's the next day. I believe it's the next day. It might be a couple days later. Who knows? Life's been crazy. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an update. I have thread basted all of my darts for the whole pattern, and I believe that was 6 darts. Not that much. Really didn't take me that long. It was just that I had a lot of stuff going on. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. So I'm currently pinning everything together so I can baste my mock-up. And I just wanted to give you a heads up about mood patterns, especially if you're a plus size girly. And this is something that I noticed when I was cutting out the pattern pieces. Typically, a dart piece should allow for the extra space that you lose once you've put the dart together. And I've noticed that with larger sizes in almost all pattern makers that aren't exclusively plus size pattern makers, there is always this gap here where the pattern maker did not, like the drafter did not make up the difference in the length here. So this piece here, I'm going to show you. And everything's pinned together. It's not sewn. I'm going to baste everything so I don't have to deal with pins when I'm actually trying on this mock-up. I mean, this is just something that I'll need to include when I work on the mock-up, because I, once again, don't plan on putting the peplum. If you don't remember, this pattern does come with a peplum piece attached to it as well. But you'll notice here, there's like a solid, I want to say, 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches of length that's missing from the front. That is only the dart. That is only the dart here. I mean, I know it's not my cutting because I did use this trick that a pattern cutter taught me, which is to put paper underneath your pattern piece before you cut so nothing shifts around. And also, this is a pretty tightly woven cotton broadcloth that didn't shift around. I also had something underneath all of that too that would help kind of keep it all together. So I know it's not the cutting. I know that this was, this is just a matter, like the pattern pieces were the same length when they should really be longer to accommodate that dart. And I don't know if this is a problem that other people have, but I have it every single time. So I know for a fact that I'm going to have to add this length to my next pattern piece, which means, unfortunately, I can't make this a wearable toile. This is just gonna have to be a plain old mock-up, which sucks because I really like this cotton broadcloth. It's got like a good thickness to it. I don't need to line it. I know where I got it from, and if I remember, I will link it down below. It's just from Fabric Wholesale Direct, but just a really good, actually really good quality cotton, 100% cotton broadcloth. I know this is like pure cotton, so I don't have to worry about any blends or anything like that. So this is just going to have to be a plain old mock-up, no wearable, no nothing, which is unfortunate because I had just enough to cut all the pieces out without the peplum for this toile. So I am going to baste all of these together, and then we are going to do a little try on, and I'm going to talk through all the things that I need to do for my actual pattern. And I know I've like talked about mood patterns and how great they are for learning, and this is why, actually, this cutting thing here, because you can kind of see like, oh, if you've worked with a number of patterns, you know that this has been like a pretty consistent problem for me. So I know for a fact, oh, I have to automatically just like go down a different size when it comes to the length of at least the front bodice to accommodate this missing length from putting the dart in. And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of come in and talk about that. So I'm going to come back. Everything will be basted together. I don't feel like I need to put that on camera. The way that you baste, I'll just do a little shot here, but the way that you baste is that you would put the longest stitch possible on your machine. My machine in particular is a 5mm long stitch, and without back stitching on the front or the back of the stitch line, you go ahead and stitch through that whole line with a straight stitch. Because, I mean, you see here, there's like almost no fraying on this broadcloth, so I'm not even going to bother finishing the stitches for this mock-up, which I'm going to be honest with you is something that I would usually do, especially if it's like a loosely woven fabric or something that I need to kind of make sure doesn't fall apart while I'm working on it. But yeah, wanted to come in and just say that if you did all you possibly could when it comes to cutting and you still have this issue, it's not you. It is the way that the pattern is cut before you put it together. So just be aware that if this is a common problem for you, just add some extra length to the other pattern piece. And then with your mock-up, kind of figure out if that's what is the missing issue. And this is why we do mock-ups. We're doing mock-ups in 2025. Did I mention that? We're doing mock-ups. Okay, great. So yeah, let me baste. I'll see what camera footage I can show then, and I will be right back. All right, great. What's happening? I just wanted to pop in real quick with a little baby tip. So I'm basting a mock-up right now, and you'll notice, let me actually pull something out. Yes, here it is. Most of the time when I'm making a mock-up, I'm just going to use a 5.0 stitch. Let's see if I can show you what I mean here. These are more pants. Here we go. And you'll notice that the stitches are quite wide. This is the longest stitch on my machine, which is a 5mm stitch. Ignore this, I do talk about this separately. However, for pants, because I know that the pants are gonna be something that I'm gonna need to add ease to, I don't want the pull of this on the basting to be a determining factor in that and affect the fit once I make the regular product. So I'm using a 3.5mm stitch. I've never done this before, so we're gonna see if it works. Just wanted to pop in and that if this tip works for you, try that. Yeah. All right, so all of the pieces are basted together, and I'm just going to get my pressing supply. So in my case, that's my handy dandy iron and my clapper. I like using a clapper sometimes, especially I've realized with this fabric, just because it does really help with making sure all the stitches are pretty set. Oh, you know what else I want? I have some curves on the hips here too, so I'm also going to pull up my tailor's hand just in case I need it. I don't know if I will. I have a feeling I will though. So really I just want to set these stitches real quick just to, you know, say that I did. And I'm not doing like a full iron here. I'm just pressing things just to set the stitches really fast. And I mostly want to focus on the inside of the crotch area for these pants, so I'm going to do that last. And the reason being is that I know that, like, I don't know about you, but like when you have like a belly or like a butt, or in my case, both, it really can be like the hardest part of pants to adjust. And I have a feeling that that's like why people think pants are like the hardest to encounter, because like there's always these like fit issues that come up with it. You know what I mean? Oh, and I should say I did leave the back of these pants open because this is where a zipper would go. I don't actually have the zipper for the pants that I want to make yet. I think I'm gonna make my partner take me to Michael's after he gets home from work today. So either that, I guess I could also go on my own. Another thing I didn't do is the center of the crotch here, I did not stitch together. It's just kind of there together with basting stitches. I've learned in my history of making pants that this part I like to sew by hand. So I'm going to leave it as if I haven't sewn it by hand yet. And let's see. All right. I'm just stuffing one side of the pants together so that I can, yeah, dog, all right. I can then work on the crotch seam, or just like the seams on the side here. Yeah, this guy. Really just want to focus on these boys, my little crotch seams. So what I'm doing is I have folded the right side of one pant into the wrong side of the other, and I'm just kind of arranging it so that it's all kind of together, all the stitches are kind of aligned, and then just giving it a good old shake. Really sophisticated stuff, because what I want to do is I want to then take these like front and back crotch areas, which are here, and you can already see like this is the area that I struggle with the most, but this is the area that I'll need to modify. You'll notice that, and you'll notice this actually too. I'm actually going to show you what I mean. You'll notice that if I align so that this area is completely straight, this part is a little bit higher, and it's because I have a butt. So I went ahead, I haven't added anything up here, but what I went ahead as I extended the crotch a little bit, so it is pulling it back forward. I extended the front crotch a little bit too, but definitely with the back it's a little bit more pronounced because it's already bigger to begin with. So just gonna give these guys a quick little press here. And then after this, I'm ready to try the mock-up on and figure out what changes I need to make to the fit. I just realized I left my ice maker still running and the poor thing melted enough ice to just start making ice again. Oh boy. All right. Real quick, I'm gonna fix this basting stitch so that this little flower isn't, there we go. I don't want these little flower bits down here, just because I know that when I were to make this, I want this all out so that I can hand stitch it all down. All right, so everything's pressed and ready. Let me just give this one front guy a little bit more. All right, and then we are gonna cut to trying it on. Okay, so this is the mock-up so far. Please ignore this pile of projects beside me. I have a lot of stuff I gotta do, so that just happens. First things first, let's talk about the pants. I did this vertically, so I might just add it as like a short form update. But first things first, once everything is together, I have a feeling I'm gonna really like the silhouette. I do want to, I think, flare out the pants a little bit, or maybe flare them in. I'm not quite sure. It's because I'm so short. So I think maybe I'll take them up a little bit so that they fit what I'm looking for a little bit more. And you'll notice here, even as I'm like wearing it, that there is a lot of bunching around the crotch. What I'm gonna do is, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of length going forward for the crotch, and I hope that will kind of address this pulling that's happening here along the belly. Hips I think are good, back darts I think are good. One thing I also did point out is, one thing that I think will help with the belly adjustment is just to remove the back darts altogether. The front darts, move the front darts altogether. The back darts I think are good. They didn't pop or anything, which is kind of the metric that I used to determine that I would do that. And then the shirt, I will need to, I've already pinched out the darts that I need to remove to accommodate my upper bust measurement that I'm going to swing into the bust dart, I think. Let me see. Maybe. The other option is I could, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. I could also keep the armhole dart or just move it into the shoulder, or I could move it into the waist. I could kind of do what I want with it basically here. Let's see, I also clearly need to lengthen it here. This looks about, let me pull out my tape. Yeah, that's about 2 inches between the bottom of the bodice after the darts are put in and the top of the waist. So what I want to do is I'm going to add actually 3 inches to this so that I have a little bit of ease. Let's see if I stretch, how much ease would I need to add? 4 inches, cool. So I'm going to add about 4 inches here. I do like the top length here. And the shoulders also need some pinching in. It's hard to tell because I don't have a zipper on the top of this. Here, yeah, no, even then, even with it back up, there's still like a bunch of like crowding in the back there. That might go away with adding the zipper, and that might add some sort of closing in back there. I might have to just pull up the dart in the shoulder and just do that. We'll pinch it out here. So okay, cool. I know I just talked through these fixes, but I really do know what I'm gonna do. Other than that, I know that once I finish this is gonna be really cute. And now, I know I didn't wanna add pockets before, but now the way that I just tried to put my hand in the pockets makes me think I should add pockets. Much to think about. Either way, I'm really sad this like green number couldn't be a full thing because look how cute this is. Anyway, as like a two-piece set, if this were like a little bit longer and the pants were fixed, this would be so cute. Yeah, I always have a problem with like my thighs touching. I'll probably look into how to fix that. So, because that seems like to be the main issue. Do I want to add pockets? I think I do. I think I want to add pockets. So I might add a pocket, either like a patch pocket to the back or something. Maybe like a back patch pocket would be cute. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm going to take this mock-up and I am going to add the fixes, all the fixes I need to make to the pattern, and then we will go from there. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit before I can actually make the pattern. Oh, dang. But I will have it in time for like warmer months, which is the thing that I'm looking most forward to. So yeah, cool. See ya. Okay, quick update. I have written down all of the things that I need to do to this mock-up to update the pattern pieces so that it fits me better. I did show some footage of what the mock-up looks like on me with no modifications as is and the fixes that I need to make to it. Adding 1 inch of ease at the waist at the front crotch just for a little bit of wiggle room, and also mimicking that additional space that I've added between the bodice and the pant so that all of it lines together. I just kind of want a little bit of ease at the waist. Second, add 1.5 inches of ease at the front crotch, 1 inch of ease in the back crotch, just like a little bit of tiny wiggle room that isn't going to affect a lot of fit. The last thing is figure out what's going on with the thigh situation. It might come that I might need to actually not add this ease and just figure out what's going on in the thighs because of that bunching. It happens with every pair of pants I wear, so I'll figure that out. Take in the ease of the neckline, those little darts that I made at the armholes, and shift them over to the bust darts. Add 3 inches of length into the front bodice, 1 inch into the back bodice so that it all matches up. And then add the ease from the back shoulder into the shoulder seam. So that's where I am right now. I'm gonna make all of those changes in my paper pattern and then we will reconvene once I have prepped my shell fabric and get it all set up. A last thing, a note, I didn't think I was gonna want to do this when I was making the mock-up, but I found that I really want to do bias tape for finishing all of the insides and everything. So I think I'm gonna find a bias tape that works with the fabric that I'm going to use, and maybe I'll make it if I have enough of the fabric left. Maybe I'll find like a fun contrasting one at like Michael's or something. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's where we are right now. So yeah, I'm actually going to end this vlog, the sewing vlog here, so that we have the mock-up. I'm gonna make the pattern pieces together, and the next video will be me actually cutting the pattern out of the final fabric and assembling it together and showing you the final reveal. So if you want to see that, please join me for the next video. Until next time, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.